A. Accountability, frameworks for, 145-148, vs liability, 136, in supply chains, 204, adaptive governance, model of, 8991, administrative law, AI in, 223, automation of government decision-making, 223, adverse event reporting, 192-195, see also incident response, advocacy, role of NGOs in, 250-252, agency, problem of, 132-134, see also legal personality, agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property, algorithmic bias, auditing for, 167-170, and discrimination, 60. 62, in law enforcement, 224, amnesty periods, for legacy systems, 216-217, appeal process, for license denial/revocation, 191-192, application, fees, 183-184, process, step-by-step, 180-183, arbitration, international, 244-245, artificial intelligence, AI, definitions of, 23-25, general purpose, GPAI, 27, 102-105, narrow, specialized, 26-27, superintelligent, future licensing of, 255-257, assessment, human rights impact, 75-77, pre-deployment, conformity, 163-165, risk. Methodology, 99-102, auditing, continuous, 171-172, for algorithmic bias, 167-170, third party, 170-171, tools and methodologies, 167-170, autonomous weapons systems, 109-111, 240, ban on fully autonomous, 110, see also military applications rights, TRIPS, 241-242b, bias, and discrimination, 60-62, auditing for algorithmic, 167-170, in data sets, 115, mitigation techniques, 168-169, see also fairness, discrimination, biometric data, processing of, 107-108, in surveillance systems, 108, see also privacy, black box problem, 63-64, 134-135, and explainability, XAI, 63-64, 134-135, 169-170, in high-risk systems, 99, breach, consequences of, 189-191, reporting, 192-195, see also non-compliance, penalties, Brussels effect, the 237-238, see also harmonization, global, burden of proof, in liability cases, 138c, certification, marks, 200-201, of compliance, 199-201, vs licensing, 94, see also conformity assessment, civil law systems, 230-231, vs. Common law, 230-231, liability in, 137, commercial licensing, 208-210, marketing restrictions, 209-210, use case limitations, 209-210, common law systems, 230-231, vs civil law, 230-231, liability in, 136-137, compliance, automated tools for, 197-199, certification, 199-201, officers, role of, 196-197, supply chain, 204-205, see also monitoring, auditing, conformity assessment, 163-165, bodies, list of approved, Appendix C, for high-risk systems, 99, see also pre-deployment assessment, consent, informed, 130-132, in medical AI, 132, and the black box problem, 134, constitutional law, implications for, 224-225, right to a fair trial, 224, right to non-discrimination, 225, consumer protection law, 222-223, product liability, 222, misleading advertising, 223, continuous monitoring, 171-172, 195-196, see also auditing, continuous, post-market monitoring, contract law, AI and, 221-222, AI as a tool in contracting, 221, AI as a party to a contract, 221-222. Copyright, and training data, 119-121, fair use exceptions, 120, text and data mining, TDM, exemptions, 121, see also intellectual property, criminal law, AI in, 223-224, algorithmic risk assessment in sentencing, 224, predictive policing, 223, crisis management, protocols for, 205-206, see also incident response, cultural sensitivity, 71-73, in dataset curation, 116, in global deployment, 72, cybersecurity requirements, 113-115, for critical infrastructure, 112, penetration testing, 164, see also safety, critical systems data, governance, 115-117, and quality management, 115, for training data sets, 119, provenance, 116-117, documentation requirements, 166, for copyright compliance, 120, sovereignty, 117-119, 239, cross-border data transfer, 118, 239, localization requirements, 118, biometric, processing of, 107-108, minimization, principle of, 126, synthetic, use of, 117, see also privacy, decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, licensing. Of, 154-156, legal personality of, 153, problem of agency in, 133, decision-making, human oversight in, 128-130, human in the loop, HITL, 128-130, human on the loop, 129, automated, in administrative law, 223, explainability of, 63-64, 134-135, 169-170, development phase, licensing during, 159-161, provisional R&D license, 160, 210, regulatory sandboxes, 216-217, see also life cycle approach, discrimination, algorithmic, 60-62, auditing for, 167-170, protected characteristics. 61, see also bias, fairness, dispute resolution, 244-245, international arbitration, 244-245, between licensors and users, 245, documentation, technical, 165-167, for conformity assessment, 163, for explainability, 134, due diligence, in supply chains, 204, for risk assessment, 100E, economic impacts, assessment of, 77-79, labor market disruption, 77-79, macroeconomic effects, 79, see also unemployment, technological, enforcement mechanisms, 188-189, 243-244, domestic, 188-189. Inspection powers, 188, market surveillance, 189, international, 243-244, sanctions, 243-244, dispute resolution, 244-245, see also penalties, breach, environmental impact, of AI compute, 7981, energy consumption, 7980, carbon footprint reporting, 80, 184, water usage, 80, reporting, 184-185, in license application, 184, mandatory disclosures, 185, ethical review boards, 150-152, composition and independence, 151, mandatory consultation for high-risk AI, 151, ethics, by design, 148-150, integration with risk management, 149, frameworks, 53-55, principlism, 54, virtue ethics, 54, rights-based approaches, 55, European Union AI Act, 33-35, 231-232, as a model for the CIAILC, 34, comparative analysis with, 231-232, see also Brussels effect, the, explainability, XAI, 63-64, 134-135, 169-170, technical methods, 169-170, counterfactual explanations, 170, feature importance, 169, right to an explanation, 134, 224, see also black box problem. Transparency F, facial recognition, 107-108, in public spaces, ban on, 108, law enforcement use, exceptions for, 108, 240, see also biometric data, surveillance, fairness, definitions of, 61-62, demographic parity, 62, equality of opportunity, 62, individual vs group, 61, see also bias, discrimination, fines and penalties, 189-191, 243, calculation, percentage of turnover, 190, for false certification, 190, tiered based on severity, 189, see also breach, enforcement mechanisms. Foundation models, licensing of, 102-105, downstream responsibility, 104, specific requirements, 103, compute threshold reporting, 103, red teaming, 103, systemic risk assessment, 102, see also general purpose AI, GPAI, generative AI, freedom of expression, conflicts with, 225, function creep, mitigation of, 172, 209G, generative AI, licensing considerations for, 105-107, content provenance, 106, watermarking, 106, synthetic content disclosure, 106, disinformation risks, 105. Training data transparency, 105, 119, see also foundation models, Global South, access and equity for, 247-249, capacity building, 248, technology transfer, 248, differential licensing fees, 184, 249, see also equity, governance, internal corporate, 145-148, accountability frameworks, 145-148, board level responsibility, 147, models, comparative, 88-91, centralized vs decentralized, 88-89, sector-specific approaches, 90, AI governance board, 87, graded risk system, 39-41, 97-99. Unacceptable risk, prohibited, 39, 97-98, high risk, 39-40, 97-99, limited risk, 40, 98, minimal/no risk, 40, 98, see also risk classification, general purpose AI, GPAI, 27, 102-105, see also foundation models H, harmonization, global, 235-237, challenges of, 236, jurisdictional conflicts, 236, cultural differences, 72, mutual recognition agreements, 237, see also Brussels effect, standards, international, high-risk AI systems, 3940, 9799, categories of, 97, biometrics, 107. Critical infrastructure, 111, employment and education, 97, conformity assessment for, 99, 163-165, post-market monitoring, 195, historical precedents, 3133, nuclear non-proliferation, 32, 257, medical device regulation, 32, chemical weapons treaties, 32, human rights, impact assessment, 75-77, methodology, 76, public participation in, 75, instruments, 55-57, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, 56, UN Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights, 56, due diligence. 77, human in the loop, HITL, 128-130, requirements for, 129, override capability, 129, meaningful interaction, 129, human on the loop, 129, human in command, 130, see also decision-making, human oversight in, humanitarian exceptions, for licensing, 212, 249I, implementation timeline, 214-216, grace periods, 215, phased application, 215, by system type, 215, by organization size, 216, see also amnesty periods, incident response, 192-195, 205-206, notification protocols, 193. To authorities, 193, to affected individuals, 194, containment procedures, 194, see also adverse event reporting, crisis management, intellectual property, IP, generated by AI, 121-123, authorship questions, 122, patentability, 123, and training data, 119-121, fair use/fair dealing, 120, copyright infringement, 119, text and data mining, TDM, exceptions, 121, trade secrets, conflict with transparency, 123, 166, international organizations, role of, 245-247, United Nations, UN. 245-246, potential for a specialized agency, 246, OECD AI principles, 35, 246, standard setting bodies, ISO, IEC, IEEE, 246-247, interpretive guidance, official, 202-204, issuance by oversight body, 202, binding vs advisory opinions, 203, public consultation process, 203, ISO standards, relevance of, 3537, ISO/IEC 42001, AI management system, 36, 199, ISO/IEC 23894, risk management, 36, 100, Harmonization with 236L, legal personality, for AI systems, 152-154, electronic personhood debate, 153, for DAOs, 154-156, implications for liability, 138, 153, see also agency, problem of liability, insurance, 206-208, mandatory coverage for high-risk AI, 207, pricing models, 207, regimes, 136-139, fault-based, 137, strict liability, 137-138, no-fault schemes, 138, channeling liability, to operator vs producer, 139, see also accountability, insurance, license, classes and types, 93-96, by risk class, 94, by use, R&D, 210-212, commercial, 208-210. Open source, 212-214, general vs specific, 95, duration and renewal, 185-187, periodic review, 186, material change notifications, 172, 186, public registry, 187-188, transparency function, 187, information accessibility, 188, suspension and revocation, 191-192, immediate suspension powers, 192, appeal process, 191-192, life cycle approach, 157-159, phases, design, development, deployment, decommissioning, 158, documentation across phases, 158, 165-167, post-market surveillance. 195-196, see also development phase, pre-deployment assessment M, marketing restrictions, 209-210, prohibited claims, 209, pre-approval of advertisements, 210, see also commercial licensing, military applications, 109-111, 240, autonomous weapons systems, 109-111, 240, national security exemptions, 109, 239-241, dual-use technologies, 110, 240, monitoring, post-market, 171-172, 195-196, performance metrics tracking, 195, user feedback mechanisms, 196, incident reporting, 192-195. See also auditing, continuous, surveillance, of AI systems, model cards, 166, see also documentation, technical, moral philosophy, foundations of ethics frameworks, 53-55, mutual recognition agreements, 237, see also harmonization, global N, national security exceptions, 239-241, scope and limitations, 240, oversight challenges, 240, abuse of, safeguards against, 241, see also military applications, non-commercial research license, 210-212, eligibility criteria, 211, field testing provisions, 211, conversion to commercial license, 212, see also development phase, regulatory sandboxes, non-compliance, consequences of, 189-191, administrative fines, 189-191, criminal penalties, 191, product recall or withdrawal, 191, see also breach, fines and penalties, enforcement mechanisms, non-proliferation treaty, AI, concept of, 257-259, controls on compute infrastructure, 258, International Monitoring Agency, 258, historical precedent, 32, 257, non-discrimination. Principle of, 60-62, 225, see also discrimination, fairness, notification requirements, for material changes, 172, 186, for incidents, 192-195, open source AI, licensing of, 212-214, modified license requirements, 213, for high-risk applications, 213, for large-scale deployment, 213, attribution and share alike clauses, 214, duty to report vulnerabilities, 214, see also non-commercial research license, oversight bodies, 86-88, International AI Governance Council, IAIGC, 87. Composition and appointment, 87, powers and duties, 88, national competent authorities, 86, coordination with, 88, reporting to, 192-195, scientific advisory panels, 88, operational requirements, for high-risk systems, 112, organizational measures, for compliance, 145-148, 196-197p, penalties, see fines and penalties, precedent, case law and, 230-231, role in common law systems, 230, persuasive authority in civil law systems, 231, landmark AI liability cases, 231, privacy by design, 125-126, data minimization, 126, purpose limitation, 126, default privacy settings, 126, see also data governance, data protection, proportionality, principle of, 58-60, balancing risk and innovation, 59, in regulatory enforcement, 60, 189, in rights restrictions, 59, public procurement, 226-227, mandatory certification for vendors, 226, ethical sourcing criteria, 227, as a driver of standards, 227, public trust, building, 81-83, transparency measures, 82, 187-188, public awareness campaigns, 83, stakeholder engagement, 73-75, post-market surveillance, see monitoring, post-market, product liability, 136-139, 222, see also liability R, recourse, right to, 139-141, appeals process for automated decisions, 140, 224, compensation mechanisms, 141, ombudsman role, 141, see also appeal process, liability, regulatory sandboxes, 216-217, eligibility and application, 216, supervised testing environments, 217, waivers of certain regulations, 217, see also non-commercial research license, development phase, renewable license term, 185-187, periodic review process, 186, demonstration of continued compliance, 186, fees for renewal, 184, risk, assessment methodology, 99-102, qualitative and quantitative models, 100, stakeholder consultation in, 101, dynamic updating of, 101, classification system, 3941, 9799, four-tier model, 3940, 9798, reclassification procedures, 99, management standards, 164-165, ISO 31164, integration with quality management, 165, red teaming, requirements for 103, 164, resource allocation, of oversight bodies, 88s, safety, case, 164, required documentation, 164, for conformity assessment, 163, critical systems, 111-113, definition and examples, 111, redundancy and fail-safe requirements, 112, cybersecurity for, 113-115, sanctions, international, 243-244, trade restrictions, 243, freezing of assets, 244, escalation mechanisms, 244, see also enforcement mechanisms, self-certification, limitations of, 162-163, permitted for lower risk classes, 162, audit trail requirements, 163, post hoc verification, 163, social scoring, prohibition of, 108-109, by public authorities, 108, exceptions for credit scoring, 109, stakeholder engagement, 73-75, mandatory consultation processes, 74, civil society forums, 74, in risk assessment, 101, standard contractual clauses, SCCs, 241, for data transfer, 241, for liability allocation, 241, standards, international. 3537, 235-237, role of ISO/IEC, 3537, 246, harmonization with, 236, presumption of conformity, 236, supply chain compliance, 204-205, due diligence obligations, 204, vendor audits, 205, component traceability, 205, surveillance, of AI systems, C monitoring, post-market, synthetic data, use of, 117T, technical documentation, 165-167, required elements, 166, system architecture, 166, data specifications, 166, performance metrics, 166, access rights for auditors, 167, updates and version control, 172-174, see also model cards, terminology, official definitions, 2325, artificial intelligence, 2325, developer vs deployer, 25, significant risk, 25, testing, adversarial, red teaming, 169, for foundation models, 103, requirements for, 163-165, pre-deployment validation, 163-165, scenario-based testing, 164, independent third-party validation, 170-171, tort law, 136-139, 221, negligence, 136-137, product liability, 137, 222, causation challenges. 138, trade law, 241-242, WTO compliance, 241-242, technical barriers to trade, TBT, 242, non-discrimination principles, 242, transparency register, 187-188, publicly accessible information, 188, search functionality, 188, see also public trust, building, training data, see data, governance, intellectual property, IP, transparency, 63-64, 134-135, 187-188, see also explainability, XAI, black box problem U, unacceptable risk, 39, 97-98, prohibited practices, 97, social scoring by governments, 108-109, real-time remote biometric identification in public spaces, 107-108, subliminal manipulation, 98, ban on autonomous weapons systems, 109-111, see also graded risk system, unemployment, technological, 77-79, just transition policies, 78, retraining and upskilling programs, 78, economic impact assessments, 77-79, United Nations, role of, 245-247, potential UN Convention on AI, 246, UNESCO recommendations on AI ethics, 246, coordinating function, 247, use case. Limitations, 209-210, geofencing, 210, user authentication requirements, 210, prohibition of repurposing, 209, see also commercial licensing, marketing restrictions, updates and upgrades, 172-174, notification requirements, 173, reassessment triggers, 173, patch management, 174, user rights, 139-141, education and awareness, 83v, validation, independent, 162-163, accredited assessment bodies, 162, Appendix C, for high-risk systems, 99, 162, challenges of self-certification. 162-163, see also conformity assessment, auditing, third-party, versioning and updates, 172-174, change management protocol, 173, major vs minor version classification, 173, notification to oversight body, 173, patch deployment for vulnerabilities, 174, recertification requirements, 174, triggered by major updates, 174, see also life cycle approach, documentation, technical, vendor audits, 205, see also supply chain compliance, vulnerability disclosure, 194, 214, coordinated disclosure policies, 194, for open source AI, 214, see also incident response W, whistleblower protections, 141-143, anonymous reporting channels, 142, immunity from liability, 142, protection against retaliation, 143, see also enforcement mechanisms, recourse, right to, World Trade Organization, WTO, 241-242, Agreement on Technical Barriers to Trade, TBT, 242, Dispute Settlement Body, 242, 244, National Treatment Principle, 242, see also Trade Law, Watermarking, for AI generated content, 106, see also Generative AI, Content Provenance, Workforce Impact, Assessment of, 77-79, see also Unemployment, Technological, Economic Impacts Appendices and Back Matter Appendix A, full text of the Cyclopedia International AI License Certificate, Model Law, A1, Preamble, Objectives, Principles and Scope of Application A2, Title I, Definitions and Core Concepts A3, Title II, Risk Classification and Prohibited AI Practices A4, Title III, Obligations for Providers and Deployers A5. Title IV, Conformity Assessment, Licensing, and Market Surveillance A6, Title V, Governance, Oversight Bodies and Advisory Forums A7, Title VI, International Cooperation and Mutual Recognition A8, Title VII, Liability, Enforcement and Penalties A9, Title VIII, Final Provisions, Entry into Force, Amendment Procedures, Appendix B, Application Forms and Templates B1, Form CIAILC 1, Application for a development and research license B2, Form CIAILC 2, application for a limited risk deployment. License B3, Form CIAILC 3, application for a high-risk system license B4, Form CIAILC 4, application for foundation model license B5, template for the AI system safety case, Annex to application, B6, template for the fundamental rights impact assessment, Annex to application, B7, template for the system card and technical documentation summary Appendix C, list of approved conformity assessment bodies C1, international accreditation bodies and their criteria C2, alphabetical list of approved bodies by region C2A, North America C2B, European Union and EFTA C2C, Asia Pacific C2D, Global South, with capacity building status noted, C3, scope of authorization for each body, e.g., biometrics, critical infrastructure, GPAI, Appendix D, case studies, implementing the CIAILC D1, case study, the Federal Republic of Country X, a common law federal state, legislative adoption process designation of national competent authority challenges in reconciling with existing sectoral regulations D2. Case study, the Republic of Country Y, a civil law unitary state in the Global South, implementation of a phased timeline leveraging international partnerships for technical capacity adapting liability rules to local legal contexts D3, cross-border case study, licensing a multinational generative AI platform glossary of terms a comprehensive list of defined terms from the model law and their interpretations as used throughout the cyclopedia, including, artificial intelligence system deployer. Developer General Purpose AI System, GPAI, Significant Risk Human Oversight Explainability, and over 200 additional terms bibliography primary sources, international treaties and conventions national AI legislation and draft bills key judicial decisions from major jurisdictions secondary sources, scholarly articles and books on AI law, ethics and governance technical standards, ISO, IEC, IEEE, NIST, reports from international organizations, UN, OECD, WTO, WHO, ILO, ethics guidelines and frameworks acknowledgements the International AI Governance Council, IAIGC, contributing legal experts, ethicists and technologists participating governments and regulatory bodies research assistants and editorial team funding bodies and institutions. A. Accountability, frameworks for 145-148, vs liability, 136, in supply chains, 204, adaptive governance, model of, 8991, administrative law, AI in, 223, automation of government decision-making, 223, adverse event reporting, 192-195, see also incident response, advocacy, role of NGOs in, 250-252, agency, problem of, 132-134, see also legal personality, agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property, algorithmic bias, auditing for, 167-170, and discrimination, 60. 62, in law enforcement, 224, amnesty periods, for legacy systems, 216-217, appeal process, for license denial/revocation, 191-192, application, fees, 183-184, process, step-by-step, 180-183, arbitration, international, 244-245, artificial intelligence, AI, definitions of, 23-25, general purpose, GPAI, 27, 102-105, narrow, specialized, 26-27, superintelligent, future licensing of, 255-257, assessment, human rights impact, 75-77, pre-deployment, conformity, 163-165, risk. Methodology, 99-102, auditing, continuous, 171-172, for algorithmic bias, 167-170, third party, 170-171, tools and methodologies, 167-170, autonomous weapons systems, 109-111, 240, ban on fully autonomous, 110, see also military applications rights, TRIPS, 241-242b, bias, and discrimination, 60-62, auditing for algorithmic, 167-170, in data sets, 115, mitigation techniques, 168-169, see also fairness, discrimination, biometric data, processing of, 107-108, in surveillance systems, 108, see also privacy, black box problem, 63-64, 134-135, and explainability, XAI, 63-64, 134-135, 169-170, in high-risk systems, 99, breach, consequences of, 189-191, reporting, 192-195, see also non-compliance, penalties, Brussels effect, the 237-238, see also harmonization, global, burden of proof, in liability cases, 138c, certification, marks, 200-201, of compliance, 199-201, vs licensing, 94, see also conformity assessment, civil law systems, 230-231, vs common law, 230-231, liability in, 137, commercial licensing, 208-210, marketing restrictions, 209-210, use case limitations, 209-210, common law systems, 230-231, vs civil law, 230-231, liability in, 136-137, compliance, automated tools for, 197-199, certification, 199-201, officers, role of, 196-197, supply chain, 204-205, see also monitoring, auditing,